Air India, in recent times often considered the pariah of the aviation world. Over the last several years, there have been countless reports of disappointing, sometimes even horrifying experiences, from everyday travelers through to famous travel reviewers and major news outlets. So, when I found a pretty good deal on a premium cabin award fare from Seoul to New York via New Delhi, one that involved a 15-hour leg in first class no less, I decided to take the plunge and see for myself, spending a total of 35 hours in Air India's care. Once more, unto the breach, dear viewer. Good morning, everyone. We've made it through the check-in process. We've made it through security, and I have to say, travel tip for Incheon. If there is a line at the first security point to which you come, go and explore them all, because the closest one to my actual check-in counter had a 25-minute wait and was packed, and the furthest one all the way down at the other end of the terminal had no wait. I literally breezed through with 10 other people for the entire security area, so always check your security points. Meanwhile, we've made it to the Asiana Lounge. I've already taken advantage of their amazing new massage chairs. Holy cow, I was afraid I was going to fall asleep and wake up 10 hours later because it was so comfortable. Anyway, I've gotten some food, I've gotten some tea, I've gotten some water, and now we're going to go ahead and head to our boarding gate. So the Air India flight today, I booked using points. And I booked it specifically because I got a great deal with the second half of my journey being in first class. So this first half is what we're covering right now. It's this business class trip, 9 hours from Incheon to Delhi. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, the reviews have been mixed. I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's go. Okay, I just had to comment on this. I just got up from my chair and looked down beneath me, and oh my god, these seats are so filthy. Like, it looks like this has never been cleaned. There's so much food and detritus here. Asiana, you guys need to do a better job here. Jesus. Pretty gross. Practically fleeing that revolting tableau, we head to the gate. I think that I'm arriving just on time to board, but this flight is so empty that they are on final call by the time I reach the gate. I am welcomed on board and directed to my seat. This cabin has a 222 configuration, which is so old-fashioned as to be nearly vintage, but has the advantage of spaciousness and wide seats. In terms of features, there is a footrest that comes pre-stocked with bedding, and the armrest harbors a universal outlet and a USB outlet, along with a remote control for the in-flight entertainment. And unlike newer configurations, these seats offer the holy of holies, over-seat vents. I then commence the sacred unpacking ritual, which involves sussing out all of the various in-seat storage options, which mostly seems to be under the ottoman, which is not really an ottoman, you shouldn't sit on it, and in the armrest of the seat, where the remote control is located. Having taken a closer look at my surroundings, I realized that the reports I had read of shabby furnishings were sadly spot on. Things are literally coming apart, with panels falling off, edging completely separated, finishings worn away. For instance, my seat is broken and will not go flat. Thankfully, the pre-flight service stands in extremely stark contrast to the dilapidated surroundings. So they just came out and served welcome beverages, which is champagne in a nice pretty glass, and also an interesting tray of various publications, both magazines and newspapers. I opted for India Today and the Times of India, because, I'd like to see what's happening in other parts of the world. And amazingly, they've got a Tumi kit, which is, wow, I haven't seen that since Delta had them, and Tumi pajamas. There's very few airlines that give pajamas for a business class flight, so actually I'm pretty impressed. The offering of magazines and newspapers may seem old-fashioned, but I actually like that touch. They also hand out what I foolishly assume is the food menu for the flight, but turns out to be a fairly extensive bar menu. Maybe we get no food on this flight, but just an endless supply of calorific, mood-enhancing beverages? Oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Air India's Boeing 787 Dreamliner.
However, while taxiing for takeoff, the not-so-thrilling mystery of the missing menu is soon solved. Well, one of the several business class attendants just came by, super friendly, super warm, and took my order. They don't actually have menus for the food, but she read off to me the options. Cheese kofta in a curry, yeah, that's the option for me. If you're on Air India, don't go for a Western option, always go for the curry option. In fact, the plane is so empty that we finish boarding early and push back 15 minutes ahead of schedule. That would never happen if I'd actually had a tight connection. But in fact, I will have around 10 hours to enjoy the delights of Indira Gandhi International Airport and the Air India Lounge. So we've been taxiing for so long that I actually think we might be driving to India. Just saying. Big disadvantage of the bulkhead seats, your screen must be stowed during taxi and takeoff. So that's like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes total in your whole flight with no digital entertainment. Oh, the horrors. Takeoff is as smooth as could be. But then I realized that my hair is still down, so I go ahead and put it into protective braids to prevent the arid, mummifying air of the cabin from turning my locks into an archaeological site. Well, they've just served appetizers, I guess, or amuse-gueule, anyway. Nice little porcelain bowl of mixed nuts with the usual ratio of cashews to almonds, meaning lots of cashews. And I don't know what these are, actually. Maybe a Korean corn chip? So I tested the limits of custom ordering on the menu. I ordered the Virgin Mojito mocktail with no added sugar. So let's see how this tastes. It looks good. I mean, she really does make it fresh there. There's a cute little key lime, fresh mint, slice of lime on a stick. This looks pretty good. Interesting development. I'm not really using the in-flight entertainment because I'm actually really enjoying my copy of India Today. Apparently there's a major tuberculosis crisis, highly resistant tuberculosis actually in India and spreading to other parts of the world, so that's not good. Anyway, the interesting development is that they had to reset the in-flight entertainment for the whole ship. Wow. The whole plane. Which shut down my seat too, so like my reading lamp doesn't work, but they said it would be 15 to 20 minutes until the in-flight entertainment is back up again. I know for some people that would be like end game. So no in-flight entertainment for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Actually, I haven't even gotten headphones yet, so Turns out that what I mistook for an air sickness bag was actually the so-called sound-canceling headphones, which sadly reflect the derelict state of the cabin. And more than that, they not only fail to cancel exterior sounds, they have two volumes, dead silent or Metallica concert for the hearing impaired. Well, here is my lunch. It has been delivered. It is disappointingly all served on a tray, which, I think is more of an economy class thing, but at least everything is served in ceramic and or porcelain. I had ordered the vegetarian curry option, consisting of mudur palak and paneer kofta, not because I am a principled vegetarian. I definitely adore the consumption of meat, but because I pretty much love anything with paneer in it. The curries are accompanied by crudité, dal, which is lentil curry, plain yogurt, gulab jamun, Indian roti, and paratha. My extremely attentive attendant came over and asked if I wanted anything else, and when I started to say no, she asked, well, what about some more dal? And then brought out this bowl of golden yellow lentil dal, which is different from the brown lentil dal that I had before, so yay! The meal is decent, but not necessarily on par with competitor products such as Imperial. The curries are flavorful, but a bit overheated and so drier than they should be. On the positive side, both of the dals are tasty and the crudité sassily crisp, the way they should be. Sadly, the roti and paratha suffered badly during the reheating process and have been transformed into something the consistency and flavor of chewy cardboard. But I'm not certain I have ever had a bread product on a plane that actually met with my approval, so my personal standards may just be impossible to please. While I am still eating my lunch, dessert is served on my neighboring table. Both are surprisingly good, with the fruit tray better than most of the fruit platters I have ever had in a business class product, going far beyond the rather boring melon, grapes, and orange that is pretty typical in a business class service. This one features a daring, visually striking combination of kiwi, papaya, dragon fruit, pineapple, and orange, with a slice of lime for garnish. Really, quite a refreshing cap to the meal. The cheese platter also meets with my approval, as it lacks the seemingly mandatory blue cheese found seemingly industry-wide on business class cheese platters everywhere. Big blue cheese at play, perhaps? Either way, this platter features cheddar cheese, camembert, and Emmental with some dried apricots. Very nice indeed. Although I barely have room, I try each of the fruits and the cheeses quite dutifully. But ask my attendant to leave it for me to snack on throughout the flight, because I can't do it. I can't finish this. Not now. The chai masala, she actually brought out a cup of tea and then added milk right in front of me. That was nice. That was a nice little touch of service, and I was able to have as much milk as I wanted added, but it's just a Tetley tea bag. It's not, it's tea sweepings, so it's not exactly what I would call a business class level chai masala. I could point to Qatar Airways for how to do a nice saffron tea, for instance, and how to present it. But, is that me being overly fastidious? What do you think? Lunch being done and my person being uncomfortably stuffed, it's time to head to the bathroom to change into my new PJs for the post-prandial nap. Okay, time for the business class bathroom tour aboard this Air India 787-900. Here we have an LED illuminated mirror. It's actually a pretty small bathroom. There's no decor at all, nothing to indicate that this is actually an Air India flight, no traditional Indian motifs. It feels very institutional. Over here on the counter, I presume in the before times, there were toiletries here. Eau de toilette and whatnot. Now there's nothing. Trash bin, shallow yet wide sink with strange staining, hand soap, paper towels, tissues. Notice it's paper towels, it's not cloth towels, so nothing particularly premium about this bathroom. In fact, it feels very economy class sized, I have to say. Let's go ahead and unbag these Tumi PJs. I really like that it comes in a reusable cloth bag instead of plastic packaging, so to me that is a win. We have pants with an elastic and drawstring waist. Very short on me, I can almost guarantee it, but cute little cuffs down here. And then in a coordinating gray, long sleeve Tumi branded PJ shirt. According to the label, 65% recycled polyester and 35% cotton. Could be better, could be worse in terms of sustainability. Better would be pure cotton, screw the polyester. I then utilized the changing table to stage a more adult level change into my Tumi PJs. The PJs turn out to be rather comfortable and to fit just right for my taste. Let us go ahead and crack this baby open. I need to brush my teeth. So this says that basically you can take this kit to any Tumi store, Tumi full price store, so i.e. not an outlet, and get your Tumi kit monogrammed if you want. Tumi eye mask, lots of plastic here, but it seems it's pretty sturdy and well made. Pair of socks, which actually may have, I think they're second only to the Qatar Airways socks. They actually have like some color and design to them, although they do still feel basically like plastic. A pen. To be smarter than the pen, it's a press pen. Some Malin and Goods lip moisturizer, hand and body lotion, and replenishing facial mist. No ingredients, who knows? I was going to try to give you some information about it, but I can't because they didn't provide any. And here's your little tag that can be monogrammed for complimentary at any Tumi full price outlet. Oh, and look at this. A sustainable dental kit. That's not wrapped in plastic, that's good. I'm not certain what makes this sustainable. It's a plastic toothbrush. Colgate in a plastic tube, so I'm really not certain. Overall, it is a pretty decent, very premium kit, certainly exceeding my expectations based on other people's Air India reviews. Maybe another result of improvements since Tata's acquisition of the enterprise? Well, my teeth now having been brushed with the so-called sustainable dental kit, it is nap time. And when I went to pull out my blanket, I realized there was a mattress pad in addition to a comforter and a blanket. And so I did the cheeky thing and I asked my flight attendant if she could come make up my bed for me. And she sort of did. I've noticed an important distinction between the bulkhead seats in the business class cabin and the remaining seats. The bulkhead seats have decidedly less room. Their ottomans are smaller, the amount of storage in them is smaller, and they literally are narrower as well. So you're actually getting a shorter, narrower, smaller bed because the ottoman is part of this bed, which is almost flat, but not quite. Flat angle flat is the way I would describe it. So yeah, if you're choosing seats, don't pick first row on Air India's Boeing 787-900. Pick second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, any other row, just not the first row. Also, the screen is smaller, and you have to stow the displays I mentioned earlier. And it doesn't come pre-stocked with headphones, but the seats behind me did. Anyway, there's this cabin so empty that I have my storage seat, my eating seat, my sleeping seat, and I'm probably going to have a fourth seat for a working seat if I wake up in enough time to still do work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mastered a total of 3 hours of sleep last night because of fear of missing my flight, so I'm going to take a nap and hope to catch up on some of that. See you on the flip side. I do manage several solid hours of much-needed sleep, which is comfortable enough, although the mattress pad does not seem to do overly much in terms of adding padding or unifying the joints of the seat. Now awake, let us explore the in-flight entertainment a bit. The screen is a decent size, controlled by a remote in the armrest. It features a modest selection of Hollywood films, Hindi films, regional, probably in local languages of the Indian subcontinent, and international. Also, a Sky Bazaar that is apparently closed for business. Limited TV options are also offered in similar set of languages, including classic US cartoons. Features such as games and maps are also available, certainly enough for a 9-hour flight, although not an intimidatingly overwhelming selection as offered on other airlines like Delta or Turkish. The so-called sound-canceling headphones, on the other hand, are neither sound-canceling nor barely functioning. They are just as dilapidated as the cabin and only play sound either in super loud or not at all. These type of headphones are literally the throwaway ones that Turkish Airlines hands out at the end of the flight when they are collecting the expensive noise-canceling Bose headphones that they provide with their long-haul business class product. So the hardworking team in the cabin saw that I was awake and came out to greet me with a fresh tablecloth. They set me up at a third spot, so now I'm in yet another seat for this meal. Brought me out a very interesting and tasty-looking snack. There's chicken tikka, there's samosas, there's an omelet. Yeah, there's omelet on bread, chicken loaf on bread, fresh papaya, what looks like brownie in chocolate sauce, and interestingly, a tiny little jar of tomato ketchup. It's just so adorable. The ingredients aren't bad. No corn syrup, tomato paste, sugar, salt, chili powder, spices. That's nice, but there's some stabilizers and preservatives, which isn't great, but at least no high fructose corn syrup, eh? The samosas are actually filled with, well, spices, but also peas, pine nuts, and raisins, and the combination of sweet and savory is really quite delicious, I have to say. The chicken tikka, samosas, and mint chutney are actually really good. I do not touch the open-faced sandwiches as they do not appeal in the least. I'm not really that hungry, honestly. I do not even have room to try my brownie. The papaya is also refreshingly delicious, constituting the perfect finisher. And my attendant and I chatted briefly. She is from Delhi, and I told her that I really wanted to get back to India, but I wanted to see the many other parts, get out into the country, see the things that tourists don't usually go to see. Our flight attendants have been hardworking. I saw her, another fellow passenger woke up, and while she was in the bathroom, she came and put her seat back together, folded up blankets, made everything nice and neat again. Soon after eating, it is time to descend into Delhi. While both admiring the views and marveling over the thick layer of smog, I ponder my overall thoughts on the experience. The service was intensely gratifying, genuinely warm, utterly amiable, and attentive. The food was a mixed bag, with some aspects being more economy class and others certainly more premium. The amenity kit was excellent. The fragrant hot towels served before takeoff and after landing also delightful. Maybe the best I've ever had, in fact. The hard product was also a mixed bag. Very comfortable, although the mattress pad did not add much padding. The sadly bland bathrooms looked much more in line with an economy class product on any random airline. And of course, the dilapidated state of the cabin was utterly abysmal. Air India, your excellent flight attendants deserve a better stage on which to dance attendance to your guests. So, what about you, dear viewer? What do you think of the overall experience? In the meantime, I am off to find the Air India lounge and commence the next stage of my 35-hour odyssey. On the next episode, we will experience Air India's first-class lounge at Delhi and then spend 15 hours in a first-class product that gets very mixed reviews. Otherwise, may your travels be creative and stay tuned for your moment of kitty zen.